self-characterizing camshaft. So it opens the valves up much quicker than Fords or Chevys. So the ley line before it comes to the church. So let's see if we can find it. No, right up there. So the ley lines.
That's where you live up there.
Yeah, but the ley lines aren't constricted. They come in from the sea along this natural channel, and then one of those ice-based generators constricts the ley line, and then of course you can add information to the ley line, which then feeds the humans. Remember, humans are little bubbles of earth energy, so the churches can be used then to completely control the information, the causality, and of course the multiverse that these little bubbles of energy inhabit. So as you can see, churches are built on stargates, on major ley lines for control, and the Freemasons and the Illuminati have been using this technology in order to control the population, and in the case of the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bronfmans, etc., Oppenheimers become the masters of the West. Now, when Colin Bly went to China to make the Chinese a slave race, he didn't find the normal ley line system, just a 5-bar ley line system, and failed to be able to change the ley line system of China. So when Colin Bly and his MI6 Occult group tried to destroy China with Tiananmen Square, they failed because they didn't control the ley line system. But of course they were able to control the ley line system of Russia, and that then enabled occult warfare to destroy the Soviet Union. The same with, think about it, you can control the energy of the ley line system, change the information using these ice-based generators, change the causality, change the timeline we're in, and therefore you can move from the unionized Arthur Scargill world of the 70s, where the government was brought down by the unions, to the new capitalist, or later on kleptocracy, which we're in now, of Thatcher, using this technology. So these little bubbles of energy, wetware as I call them, aren't just wetware, they're actually little bubbles of earth energy that wander around, and using this technology we can then manipulate these little bubbles of energy to do exactly what we want, to be in exactly the timeline we want, and then to erase their past and change the past to the past we want, to get the present we want, to get the future we want, using this technology. So as you can see, whoever controls this technology controls what happens on the planet. And unfortunately for the Rothschilds, as a scientist, I have systematized the knowledge to the point where they've lost control. Because remember, they're still in the Uri Geller Israeli phase, which is visualizing and occult ritual and symbolism, where in fact I'm into the machine code, which is all mathematics, and therefore whatever they do at this level is irrelevant, because the machine code simply changes the programming of what they're doing up here, as Uri Geller found out with the World Cup, where there was a massive effort by Geller and the Israelis to corner the market on psychic warfare, so the Pentagon fuckwads would pay them 15-20 billion to defend the West against me and the perfidious people that follow me. And he was therefore in the Sun and on television, getting people to donate all their energy to footballs and spoons, so the Israeli military could get England to win the World Cup. And I was laughing because of course I'd booby-trapped the Israelis by allowing their fat woman to win the Eurovision Song Contest. Remember, all these contests are uplines for energy, but in fact I'd sabotaged it by getting the Albanian gimpoid to ruin the England song by running on stage and ruining her set. So the more energy the Israelis got to try and defeat me, the more that energy would be converted into destroying the English and whatever the English were trying to do, which of course happened, and England didn't even beat Belgium in the runners-up. They came fourth with all the effort of the West, desperate to prove, because remember, with the CIA it's all proof points. Someone says something, well, prove it. If you can prove it, oh, then we're interested. And Geller, of course, and the Israelis had to prove they could get England to win the World Cup, knowing that I hate the England team and always destroy the England team, always ruin the England team. Why? Well, simply I'm a sadistic bastard and I like antagonising MI5 and the British deep state, who use, of course, the winning of football as things to elevate themselves and wave the flag. Now, with the obelisk here, we've got a eye to the eye system. Why? Well, think of this as a three space connected to the ley line energies in complex number space, and we can either upload into the three space of the noosphere the C, which is the good stuff, or which is stored in one of my clear quartz crystals, or the minus I, which of course is stored in citrine. Why do you use a citrine? Because in Kabbalah, when the great Lord Lucifer fell to earth, one of the stones from his crown fell out, and in Kabbalah we have a Shefliah stone, which is that in the Sefer Yetzirah, creation came from the circles round the world, which is torsion fields, being downloaded into one of these, a Shefliah stone, and then you get the water coming out, which is the complex number energy, which then turns into fire, which is this side, the minus I energy, which then manifested the 7 levels of the Kabbalistic manifestation. So I'm just using in the noosphere what is designated as a Lucifer stone in order to apply minus I. So one can think of these two psychotronic generators store energy. We can then decide what energy from the ley line system we're going to dump into the noosphere. And this, of course, is a giant penis, which is penetrating to have the eye within the eye, as we talked about last time, inside the noosphere, which controls the reality of the planet, the noosphere being the mental size space which collapses the quantum wave function to produce reality. So if one wants to produce good stuff in the UK, one can then start adding whatever information, whatever causality, whatever timeline we fancy to turn the UK into a nicer, better place. Or we can add minus I to make the UK have a causality where the past, present and future are changed to destroy the UK, where the information in the UK is destroyed, like the information to make people fit and healthy is erased and they become fat and obese, to make them mad, to take away their sanity. And the front page of the Saturday Times, which I love, only on Saturday, is 700,000 of the fucktard children are on antidepressant pills because they're all mad. So one can see that the effect on the population with this technology has been dramatic. 51% of pregnant mothers depressed. A third of female teenagers on psychiatric treatment. And if you look, there used to be one person in the class who was fat, and now they're all fat. And by 20, I think they're saying by 2030, they'll all be off to hospital. And 2/3 of them will be obese. So the 2/3 of the population in the UK by 2030 will be clinically obese. This, of course, is all done by the technology of the great Colin Bly, who showed me when I left university and met him at St Michael's Day Inception in St Bartholomew's. He started teaching me all about the Illuminati magic and the prime technology, which is if you want to control the planet and human civilization, you've got to control the earth energies, because your energy compared to the energy of the planet is insignificant. So you can see why the Illuminati and the Freemasons are there. They've got technology to control the energy of the planet and are using it to control the noosphere. Unfortunately, Colin Bly gave me the keys to the castle because I was his apprentice, his spiritual son, and rather than end up like Colin Bly, as fat, old, ill, and having all my money stolen by the Rothschilds, he was a multi-millionaire and lost it all with the banking collapse of Lloyd's Names in the early 90s, I decided I'd do the opposite, which is become young, fit, healthy, super rich, and slaughter everyone and anybody who got in my way using this technology. Because remember, you can't be taken to court for using psychic warfare on anybody, because there's no law that covers it. And of course you want to be taken to court because you want the publicity. Can you imagine Tony Stark Rifat taken to court by the Rothschilds for killing Annabelle Rothschild? That would be great for business. So hopefully the Rothschilds will lose their cool and take me to court. But of course I know they won't. They'll just sit there as I butt-fuck them and then beg to lick the shit off my penis, because they're tormented and terrified by this technology, because they've been using it since the 30 Years' War to become the preeminent rulers of the planet. Remember, the Rothschilds had 50% of the world's wealth in Napoleonic times. Now, of course, as the Earth's immune system, I'm simply killing off the Rothschilds and changing the regime. Because remember, America's dying, the American Empire's going, and the Chinese will be taking over the planet. Now, with one of these weapon systems, one can see it's got the eight sides put into it. The 8 stands for the male principle, the 6th term of the Fibonacci series. Then we go into a 4 up the top, and we see a little hole up the top there which links up with the church, so it's all precisely aligned. And this side, of course, is the fire side, the minus I side. As you can see, all the ambulances coming past, because this causes death and destruction. The noosphere is controlled by one of these, so simply applying a bit of minus I energy will change reality, and we get little omens like that. So we can simply put one of these on there to tune the earth energy to pump into the noosphere the minus I energy to damage the UK and the people in it. Or we can wander around. This side in occultism is the realm of fire. Or we can wander around this side. This is the west from our Argand diagram. We can stick on one of these crystals to input information, change causality, and change the timeline to make Britain and the British in it a better place. In occultism, the south side, crush a few weeds, is the realm of man.
There's been some kind of plate there.
Oh yeah, they've been stolen. They were nice brass Freemasonic plates either side. They were ripped off and stolen because remember in Colin Bly's time this was a pristine obelisk with lovely brass plates, weathered that colour either side, and now of course they've been stolen because the country has fallen into rack and ruin because of this technology. Remember in London, all the knifings with zombie knives and acid in the face, and robberies, Michael McIntyre losing his Rolex, all that stuff is just a resultant of this technology. Remember the Rothschild said they crush me like a flea, my ramblings would have no effect on reality, and now of course I'm simply twisting in the knife before I go back to the Far East. So this south side's the realm of man, so you can simply add specifically good stuff to the population fed by this ley line, or the bad stuff on this side, which then affects specifically the human bubbles which are wandering around on the ley line system. So you can take away from the south side their good looks, their thinness, their longevity, their intelligence, their procreative power. Remember, both males and females are having problems procreating because their sperms and eggs are degenerating. Remember, they're all energy fields, and you can afflict and change the energy field using this technology. And the side I always use, because I'm a black magician, is the north, the realm of the black magician. In occultism, this will be the water. We come round to the north side, which I always use, being the preeminent black magician. And as you saw, we got the plaque on the north side that's stolen, but it's great for eye to the eyeing the obelisk. So you can actually put your psychotronic generators inside the obelisk, and your eye to the eyeing the eye to the eye generator, which is used to control the noosphere using this technology. So I always, when I come to one of these, I don't take any energy. I'm always giving energy to it in order to tune the ley line system. We have our 13 concentric squares, which of course we're adding evil into the noosphere, and we always use the death spot. Then we do the minus I side to make it reality. Remember, on the horizontal, you've got to do it both sides, otherwise you don't make it 100% real. Why? Because the more energy you put into something, the less probable it becomes. That's the physics of mean free paths. So you've got to zero it out in order to get 100% reality. So strangely enough, if you put energy into trying to do something, the more energy you put into it, the less effective it becomes. And as we can see again, now we've got a fire engine. Another one. So not only does this technology cause illness and damage in the population, we can get the UK burning from all the rioting that's going to happen, with the race war to come, all the violence, etc., which is in the future of the UK. Then we put in the concentric squares again. And of course, what we can do is leave the complex number nastiness inside. To make this a hell obelisk to destroy the country. Remember, the MI5 have been desperate to kill me, destroy my property, wreck my flat. So I'm doing to the country what they did to my flat. All easy with Colin Bly's technology. So let's wander on down to the two Kabbalistic pillars which constrain the ley lines. Hey, Miles, don't stop, don't stop. Here we are, we've got our water table. Water stands for the south, or -1, and is the realm of man. And underneath we've got resting on 3 lions. The lions are the animals of minus I. The animal for the south is man. Man's an animal in occultism. And these lions, as you can see, we're having a generator where the minus I is controlling the free space. It's controlling the free space? Yeah, the free space of the humans in the water, the south. And 3, of course, is the free space, which of course also is the 4th term of the Fibonacci series. So 3 of these lions will also control space-time. The 4th term of Fibonacci series is 3. And underneath them, we've got the plinth, which stands for the Earth. Earth is the north. And that's the realm of the Black Magician. So the Black Magician is using minus I, 3 space, to control the realm of the humans, who are in the south, in the water, and of course their spirit, because this circle in machine code stands for spirit. And as you can see, you've got the embellishment. We're actually cutting out their spirit. So you've got in there vivisecting the spirit of the human goyim embedded in this innocuous little water table. And the Black Magician stands here. As you can see, the lion is bowing down witches, to the ultimate Black Magician and Ipsissimus. And we've got the plinth, which isn't 1, but we've got 2 plinths. And as you can see, either side, we've got the triangles. The triangle stands for 3, the female, that's Binah in the Kabbalah. So one can see that the Fibonacci series is here. The first one, the male, that controls the second one, the female, which is the 3, used to control the minus I to get power for a magus, because remember Colin Bly gave him the energy keys, so I can simply stick in the key, turn it, and in this case upload the energy from damning the humans to me. If you do it, this is just air masturbation and won't even get you off, but he gave me the keys. So the Rothschilds and the rest of the Illuminati were fucked, because Colin Bly was the magus, the 007. He had to be given all the power to destroy Russia and the unions. Then I, as his apprentice, simply took the keys off him, and when I left him in '89, they found they were unable to use this technology on the Chinese, because the keys to the castle, the keys to Illuminism had come to me. And then of course they were fucked, because they promised to make me rich. They didn't. So they then had me deciding I was going to fuck them over, get revenge. Now with one of these, of course, one do the same thing. Let's put some evil energy into the human scum of England. So remember, we've got the 13 concentric squares which make the pyramid. All pyramids are evil generators, minus I, because they're the only things that give you energy. Remember that minus I part of the diagram going to the east, so no wonder they built pyramids. Mounds, on the other hand, extract energy. So when you stand on a mound, as you say, you're talking about your mound, they suck energy out of you. And in order to push yourself into the mound, you require a huge amount of energy, because it's energy dependent. So when you stand on a mound, it doesn't power you, it drains you. So there we go. So now we've activated this to its purpose. Why would they build these things? Well, George IV, the Prince Regent, was obsessed with black magic and set up the Hellfire Club, and he built Brighton as a spiritual Shangri-La for black magicians, where the Downs encapsulated a cup, which is supposed to be the female vagina, which he was fucking using the ley line that comes in the penis. So all the modern rituals of the Illuminati, the Eyes Wide Shut parties and all of that, reside from George IV, the Prince Regent's time, and his pavilion's down there. So you can see why Brighton's a wonderful place to be a black magician, because it was incepted as the heart of black magic in the West by George IV, who was the son of the mad German George III. Now we've got the police, so as you can see, we're building up the noosphere to start manifesting. So all of this technology will bring death, destruction, fire, death, civil disorder to the UK. As Colin Bly was doing the opposite, he was using the energy to dampen down the population and turn them into the McDonald's, Starbucks, zero contract slave that is the norm now, but in 81, when he started, it was highly unionized, and we didn't have these zero-hour contracts fucktards that are the norm now. So as you can see, the West was totally changed by Colin Bly to become the total slave state kleptocracy it is now. Let's move on down. So here we've got the witches bowing down at my feet. You want to shine the trainers while you're down there, woman?
And it's off.
Yeah, that's probably because the deep state's upset about doing the video. There's no, as you said, hosepipe ban, because it's run from the underground stream that runs under here, which is part of the ley line system. But as you can see here, we've got 8. 8 stands for the male principle, because it's the 6th term of the Fibonacci series. So this is a generator to manipulate the male energy. And remember, the ley line coming in from the sea can be thought of as a giant phallus fucking the cup of the Downs. So this is one giant sexual energy orgasmic generator in Prince Regent's terminology. And he brought druidic stones from Ireland and Scotland down and had them placed over ley line system. There was a huge one in Eyre Street when I was a kid. You'd be finding these rocks all around, which came from Neolithic sites. So there's an immense amount of effort put in. So we've got the 8 here, and now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 4th term of the Fibonacci series again. Strange enough is 3, to give us our 3 space. And in Kabbalah we've got Yod Hey Vav Hey, the 4 letters of Tetragrammaton, which control 3 space, and is the upline for Christianity and the Jewish religion. Then of course we've got the water, so we've got the male principle. This is a big male principle psychotronic generator, sucks out all the male principle from the male fucktards in Brighton, dumps it into the water. The water, of course, being the south -1, which then kills the male principle. Added to the 1 of the male principle at the north gives you the 0. Inside, you've got another. As you can see, we've got 2-step. Those are 2-step. Those are the first ones of the Fibonacci series. First one for the male one, the second one for the female one. So as you can see, in order to become an ipsissimus, Colin Bly was a magus. A magus is a black magician of the 2nd rank who hasn't welded his energy body with a female in ipsissimus, which means master of his very own self, has learnt to suck out female energy to turn himself into a energetic hermaphrodite, which is needed, because remember, you can't do magic to the highest degree without the female component, or if you're a female, you can't do the magic to the highest level without a male, or males you suck dry. So throughout my life I've been sucking dry prime females like Kathleen Turner, then she became old and fat, Sharon Stone, who got the brain tumour and her face turned to putty, Kylie, who got cancer, Catherine Zeta-Jones went mad. So there's a whole range of these A-list women I've been sucking dry using Colin Bly's technology, which is the Grail state, the last Grail pattern, which he got the machine code of the Elohim, which they control the ley line system with, from a Grail stone in Andorra, and he doused them, put them in the book. Didn't understand them, gave them to me. I of course understood them, and I've been using them ever since. So Colin Bly was an amazing man. In fact, the pinnacle of an Illuminati 007 Dr. D, but of course he needed Edward Kelly, a psychic, so of course I was natural. I could see energy fields, see ley lines, see entities, travel into different worlds, talk to interdimensionals, etc., etc. So I was the perfect fit for the team. So if you look inside, you've got the male principle now sucked in, 3 space of it, into the water to -1 it, which of course is the realm of the astral, the soul, and then trapped inside so it can't get back. Remember the Hades, where Chiron, I think, rose you to the underworld. Then of course the spirit of the male is constrained within, remember spirit is the circle. Then of course we've got the spirit of the male uplifted, which is the Wicker Man principle. You build up a male so you can burn him alive or sacrifice him, like Jesus, or if you watch the Wicker Man film with Edward Woodward, or the Nicolas Cage one. Build them up, elevate them, and then of course we've got inside the fountain, and fountains are springs, man-made springs, which link you to the underworld. So for a shaman, if they wanted to do magic for the intradimensionals, then remotely viewing, projecting your dreaming body or your wide awake body. The dreaming body comes from this part and is the -1 or minus I. A minus means time-like, so that's dreaming. Or this side, which is the space-like, that's the dreaming awake body, as Castaneda calls it. I called it the lucid viewing body. And that's either the it's the 1 or the I. And space-like means this stuff. Time-like means the stuff, you do this in a dream. So it's malleable, and you've got whale physics that controls it. So moving to the same place by different directions changes the distance to the place you're going in time-like space. That's whale physics. W-E-Y-L for people who want to look it up. But you'll have to be mathematically competent. So then the male principle is then dragged into the underworld via the fountain down and damned. So this is one giant Wicker Man machine right in the centre of Brighton to hellize the male population. And of course, as the black magician, I simply come along, oh, thank you very much, zero-sum game, all that lovely male energy to give me a huge penis, huge vitality, so I don't have to use Viagra. Now I'm supposed to be old. So you simply then upload it. All the good stuff, and there you go. There we are. And then you can stick it on your dick if you want to charge up your dick, or your arms if you want to charge up your arms, or if you want to charge up your intelligence, stick it up there. And then of course you can sticking more nasty shit into the male population using this. So we have our concentric squares. Let's talk to it. And we go the -I route as well. There we go. And as you can see, one of the rocks that the Prince Regent brought down is still there, over in that corner. There used to be many, many more when I was a kid. It used to be all around Brighton in the grass days. Okay. So here we see the south side, the realm of man. Man's the animal. And we've got the 3 stepping stones. Which allow man, the male man, to enter into damnation of his own volition via 3 space.
So this is not just access for maintenance.
Well, the south side is exactly the position you want to allow free access for the male energy to walk in via 3 space into this hell generator for males to sequester their spirit and then dump it into the underworld. And of course you've got the other side, the 5 as well, 5 for the pentagon, pentagram, pentacle, because you've got that side and this side. And of course as a black magician, you would not work in the south side, because this is the realm of man. You always work at the north. This is the side for the Goyim cattle. All they're there for is to supply energy and be hellized. So as you can see, whoops, there we are. The steps are the symbolic entrance, not for the energy of the male, but remember they are pulled into this in life, so they can physically enter into the mincer for male energy and be dragged into the underworld of their own volition. And this would be walking down the aisle and getting married, becoming fully fledged and joined with a female, because in the machine code, love is a double spiral, and this spiral, which goes around in this direction, anti-clockwise, dumps evil into the male, and this one, which goes around this way, when you douse love, you get the double spiral. This one destroys the goodness in the lover, and this one destroys, well, evilizes the lover, and this one destroys the good in the lover. So as you can see, when you marry someone, fall in love, the machine code turns them from young happy lovers into the old hags and gits who hate each other and end up in the grave, dragged into the males dragged into the hell machine
Of their own volition.
of their own volition. That's cool. And of course the black magician grabs the one line that comes out of it and gives all that oneness, that unity, that power to yours truly. And you always top up your power via the gap. There's a hole in the energy body here to make you young, fit, rich, powerful, and able to be able to do things in the world, like killing fucktards like Annabelle Rothschild. So let's move down now to the statue of the female. But first of all, we have to go to the Kabbalistic pillars that constrict the ley line system to funnel it into the hell generator. So those 2 pillars there are the Kabbalistic pillars, if you see them. The one on the left would be the evil one, the one on the right would be the good one. But for the fucktard human, the one on the here would be the good one, and that one would be evil one. So
Why would that be?
Because we want to get the fucktard humans to worship evil, so we get them to worship evil